Are you tired of constantly feeling sad, anxious, angry, frustrated, or lonely? If so, there's a powerful solution: changing the way you think. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT for short, is a psychotherapy approach that helps you understand the link between your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Consider this example. Ashley, a college student, receives a lower grade than expected on an important exam. Her immediate thought is, "I'm such a failure, I'll never succeed in this class." This thought triggers a cascade of negative emotions: frustration, disappointment, and demotivation. Ashley starts doubting her abilities and feels anxious about her academic performance. As a result, Ashley engages in avoidance behaviors. She avoids studying for future exams, seeking help from her professor or classmates, and isolates herself socially. Her belief in her incapability leads her to give up without further effort. This example demonstrates the profound impact of our thoughts on our emotions and behaviors. Cognitive behavioral therapy refers to these negative, irrational thoughts as cognitive distortions. By learning to spot these distortions, you can challenge them before they affect your emotions and behaviors. If you're new here, hello. My name is Ramsey Dean, and I'm a licensed therapist and social worker, and I make mental health education videos. In today's video, I will teach you the 5 most common types of cognitive distortions. By recognizing these patterns in your own thoughts, you can improve the way you think and, in turn, the way you feel. If you want to learn practical ways to enhance your mental health, then subscribe to this channel and keep on watching. Now let's get started. Alright, so the first cognitive distortion I want to talk about is called catastrophizing. This is where you see only the worst possible outcomes of a situation. For example, let's say you have a family member that's late getting home from work. You start to think, oh my god, they must have been in a car accident, when in reality, maybe they got stuck at work late, or perhaps they stopped to run an errand. So a car accident is one possible explanation of why they're late. Sure, it's technically possible, but is that the most likely reason why they're late? Probably not. When you just jump to these types of negative conclusions and ignore all of the other possibilities, this is catastrophizing, and it's one of the most common cognitive distortions I see in the clients I work with. Catastrophizing can lead to a lot of undue anxiety. It can also lead to poor problem-solving skills because you become so consumed by how bad you see the problem that it leads to inaction or avoidance. Like in the example of the college student Ashley, rather than turning her attention to how she can do better on the next exam, she gets stuck and isn't able to engage in any type of solution-focused behavior. The second cognitive distortion we're going to discuss is called mind reading. This is where we interpret the thoughts and beliefs of others without adequate evidence. Let's say you arrive at work and your coworker that is usually pretty friendly with you is a little bit quiet and standoffish. You start to think they must be mad at me, or I did something wrong, when in reality, they're just tired because they didn't sleep well last night, or maybe they have something difficult going on in their personal life that you don't know about. This is mind reading because there's ultimately no way for us to know what someone else is thinking or what's going on in their head. Mind reading can lead to a lot of unnecessary miscommunication and conflict. It can cause problems in our relationships and cause us to feel anxious and even have poor self-esteem. Mind reading can also lead to us having limited empathy and understanding for others because when we assume we know what people are thinking, it's really easy to overlook the complexity of their emotions and experiences, and we can come to these conclusions that people have nefarious intentions when the reality is usually more complicated. Number 3 is emotional reasoning. One example could be, let's say your partner has been spending long nights at the office with a coworker for the past month. You feel jealous and suspicious of your partner. Based on these feelings, you conclude that your partner's having an affair with their coworker without having any real evidence to back up this conclusion. This is emotional reasoning because in this scenario, you are just accepting the way you feel as factual, despite there not being any objective evidence. This is a really hard way to live life because we feel things all day long, and for some people, a lot of the things they feel are negative. And if we start to just accept this as our reality without challenging that way of thinking, it can lead to a lot of issues in our relationships. It can lead to what we call a fixed mindset, where we believe our abilities, intelligence, and qualities are static traits that cannot be changed or developed significantly. In other words, we can develop this type of helpless mindset where we just think our capabilities and talents are predetermined and we have inherent limitations that we just cannot overcome, as opposed to believing we have the power to change our circumstances and to overcome challenges and adversity. Number 4 is disqualifying the positive, and this is where we recognize recognize only the negative aspects of a situation while ignoring the positive. Let's say, for example, you receive a performance evaluation at work that says, great job, needs improvement, great job. Instead of being proud of your accomplishments, you dwell on the one area that said needs improvement, and you tell yourself you're a piece of crap employee and not very good at your job, when that's not really the case. Disqualifying the positive can also look like finding excuses to downplay your accomplishments. So for example, if you get a good grade on a test, you tell yourself, oh, it really wasn't that hard. Or if you get a promotion at work, you think, they only gave me the job because they were desperate and couldn't find anyone else. Disqualifying the positive can lead to diminished self-esteem. It can cause you to have a pessimistic outlook on life, and it can rob you of the ability to savor positive experiences and just enjoy the happy things in life. The fifth and final cognitive distortion I want to talk to you about is called all or nothing thinking. And this is where we think in absolutes, such as always, never, or every. Let's say, for example, you've had a lot on your plate and you've been very busy. In the shuffle, you completely forget about your best friend's birthday. Now in the past, you've often been a great supportive friend. But despite this, you think to yourself, I'm always a bad friend. I never do a good enough job when it comes to my friendships. This is all or nothing thinking, because you're not acknowledging the times when you have been a good friend, and you're jumping to the conclusion that you are just all bad when it comes to your friendships, despite evidence to the contrary. All or nothing thinking is sometimes referred to as black or white thinking, because this type of thought process fails to recognize nuance. Something I tend to notice with my clients who struggle with this cognitive distortion is a lot of perfectionism and fear of failure. So they may set impossibly high standards for themselves and believe that anything less than perfection is a failure. This fear of failure can be paralyzing and prevent you from taking risks or pursuing new opportunities, and it can lead to really rigid behavior. So those are the top 5 most common cognitive distortions. Let me know in the comments down below which cognitive distortion resonated with you the most. The good news is that if you can learn to spot these cognitive distortions before they impact your emotions and behavior, then with time, you can change the way you think, and in turn, change the way that you feel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.